Hello, my dear students. This is Chandan, your English guru. Welcome you all on my YouTube channel once again. Today, we will cover up the second poem of class 10 from your first flight book, which is Fire and Ice, composed by Robert Lee Frost. I hope Robert Lee Frost needs no introduction now because I have already introduced him to you in my previous video lecture. So, students, without wasting your precious time, I would like to tell you about the poem that is a symbolic poem. Fire and ice symbolize two opposite things. This poem is inspired by Dante's Inferno. In this Dante's Inferno book, it was told that the sinners who commit offensive or harsh crime are compelled to live in hell, where they are burned in fire or they are submerged in the lake of ice up to their neck. But here in this poem, the two things, fire and ice, symbolize desire and hatred, respectively. That means fire symbolizes desire of someone and ice symbolizes hatred or despise. So, students, in this poem, the poet Robert Lee Frost describes that there are only two things or two ways to end up the world, which is either fire or ice. And that's the two things which the poet has elaborated in this poem. Now we will read the poem and I will explain to you its meaning along with some literary devices used in the poem. So, students, let's get started the poem. Some say the world will end in fire. Some says the world will end in fire. Some says in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. So, this is the poem, students. Now, I will explain to you the poem's line one by one. So, here in this poem, some says the world will end in fire, some says in ice. People say like this. This is not the opinion given by the poet. He is giving us the opinion of other people. People say that the end of the world will be due to fire, which is here in the form of desire. That means the end of the world will be due to desire of human beings. On the other hand, some people also say that the end of the world will be due to ice, which means hatred or despise. What does it mean? Students, it means there are some people in the world who want more and more what they have. They are not satisfied with their belongings, due to which they harm others. They involve in war, they fight to one another in order to achieve or get more and more in their life. And that brings, do you know what? Only and only destruction, complete devastation, destroyment, instead of peace in society. On the other hand, some people hate to one another, fight to one another. This also leads destruction. So there can be two ways to end up the world, which is either fire or ice. Then he further says, from what I have tasted of desire, I am repeating the lines. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. So, here the next two lines. What does it mean? Actually, the poet is sharing his own personal experiences to us. He says, what I have experienced so far in my life, on the basis of that, I will favor those who say the end of the world will be due to fire. He says that our desire is more stronger than anything, that always motivates us, that always encourages us to do the work which is harmful for us and for the society. He further says, that's why I am in favor of those people who always say the world will end in fire one day. Next, he says, here on the screen, you can see but if it had to perish twice, I'm repeating the lines, just listen to me carefully, my dear students. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of it. That means if the world will have to end twice means two times. So, if the world will have to end twice, he says, I know much and more about hate or despise, which is here in the form of ice. Ice means hatred. This beautiful world can also be ended up because of ice. That means because of hatred or despise. So, if we have to destroy the whole world, then ice is enough to destruct complete world. So in this poem, the poet says, first of all, the people's opinion. He is saying some people are of opinion that the world will end in fire, and some people are of opinion that the world will end up in ice. Ice means hatred. But my opinion, that means the poet's opinion, is that the world will end up due to desire of someone. That means end in fire. Then he says, if the world has to end up twice means two times. So if the world has to end up twice, then hatred among the people will end up the whole world completely. The world will be submerged deep into ice lake because ice is enough to destroy the whole world. So, this is the poem, a very short poem and very symbolic poem. Fire and ice have been used to symbolize desire and hatred respectively, which are enough to destroy the whole world. And then poet tells us his opinion. So now we have discussed the poem. Now we will see the difficult words used in the poem so that you can study, you can think better and better. So here, my students, words and their meanings of the very first stanza. Here you can see the first word is taste. Taste means a strong like. That means you are liking the most. Second word is desire. Desire means aspiration or want or lust. Third word is hold. Hold, you understand better. That means grip or clutch. And the last word of the first stanza is favor. Favor means approval. So these are the four words. I think these are difficult words from the very first stanza. Now we will move on to the second stanza's difficult words. Here on the screen you can see the second stanza's difficult word. Here we go. The first word is perish. Perish means die. Second word is destruction. Destruction means devastation, destroyment. Okay. And the third word is hate. Hate means contemptuous. Okay. And the last word of the second stanza is suffice. Suffice means to be sufficient or to be enough. So these are the difficult words of the entire poem. Okay. So students, now we will see literary devices used in the poem. First of all, let's see the rhyming scheme of the first stanza. As you can see here, there are 9 lines in the poem. So we will divide it into the sense of 3. The rhyming scheme is A, B, A. Okay, the first 3 lines. Now we move on to the next 3 lines. The rhyming scheme is A, B, C, and the last 3 line B, C, B. Let us see the words which are rhyming. Fire is rhymed with desire. Okay, students, and again with fire. So here the rhyming scheme of the first 3 lines, here you can see the rhyming scheme of the first 3 lines is A, B, A. Then ice is rhymed with twice. Here you can see on the screen, ice is rhymed with twice, and again with ice. So the next 3 lines rhyming scheme is A, B, C. Here the next 3 lines rhyming scheme is A, B, C, because fire and ice, both words are repeating in consequent sentences, so fire has been denoted by letter A, while ice is being denoted by letter B. Okay. Similarly, the same case is with twice and suffice, which are being denoted by letter B. Here you can see twice and suffice, same letter. In this way, the rhyming scheme of the last 3 lines is what is that, my dear students? I hope you understand. The last 3 lines rhyming scheme is B, C, B. As we know, hate and great both are rhyming. As we know, hate and great both end with the same sound, so the 2 words sounds are being denoted by letter C. Okay, C. Now the literary device used in the present poem is, first of all, I will tell you about anaphora, which is the first literary device used in the poem. Okay, my dear student, did you understand it or not? I am trying my level best to make you understand. What does anaphora means? I hope you know it very well, because in my previous video lecture I have told you about much and more literary devices which are used in poem. But let me introduce once again. Okay, so that you can have no problem as you go ahead in the poem. What does anaphora mean? My dear students, anaphora means the repetition of the words at the beginning, at the start of the sentence in two or more than two lines. As we can see, line 1, line 1, okay, and line 2, okay. So in line 1 and line 2 begin with the word some say. Here you can see some say, some say, okay. So this is called anaphora, okay. That means the repetition of the word at the beginning of the sentence in two or more than two lines. This is called anaphora. Okay, my dear student, did you get it? The next literary device used in the poem is enjambment. 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 I hope you are trying to understand it. What does enjambment means? I hope you have seen my previous video lecture and you have tried your level best to understand it. This is also a literary device in which what happened? Actually, enjambment means the same sentence is continued in the following lines without any punctuation mark. This is called enjambment. And here you can see on the screen line 7, 8, 9. In line 7, 8 and 9, the same sentence is continuing in the next three lines. To say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. There is no punctuation mark. Here you can see on the screen in line number 7, 8 and 9. Another device which is used in the poem is alliteration. Alliteration. What does alliteration means? Alliteration means the repetition of consonant sound at the start of two or more than two consecutive words. In the sentence, here you can see on the screen, a sound is being repeated at the start of the word some say. Okay, I'm not talking about words, I'm talking about the single letter. Okay, and alliteration means, I have told you, the repetition of consonant sound at the start of two or more than two consecutive words. And here S sound, S is a consonant sound. Here you can see some, here you find S, say, here you also find S. So S sound is being repeated in the two consecutive words. So this is called alliteration. Then world will, here W sound, W is also W sound. Here you have to go for sound, not for the letter. Okay, so W, that means it is also a consonant sound. So this is also a part of alliteration. I hope you are trying to understand it. And the next literary device in the poem is assonance. 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 What does assonance mean? Let me tell you, my dear students. Don't worry. Assonance means use of same vowel sounds anywhere in the sentence, whether it is at the beginning of the word or amid of the word or at the end of the word. Here in the poem you can see in line number 1, will end in fire. I sound is very prominent, is it? This is called assonance. So what I have told you about assonance? Assonance is nothing but the use of the same vowel sounds anywhere in the sentence. Here I sound, you can see it has been used at the beginning or amid and the last of the word. So here we can treat it as assonance. Again, in line number 4, here you can see on the screen line number 4. I hold with those who favor fire. I hold with those who favor fire. Once again, you see the line. I hold with those who favor fire. I and O sounds are the most prominent sound in line number 4. So this is called assonance. What does it call? Assonance. Assonance. And again in line number 6, you can see line number 6. This is line number 6. I think I know enough of hate. I and O sounds. I, here you can see I am underlining it. I and O sounds are the most prominent sounds in line number 6. This is called assonance. What does it call? Assonance. Then here in the poem another literary device which has also been used in the poem is consonance. The next literary device is consonance. What does consonance means? Is anybody here who know very well? Okay, doesn't matter, I will tell you about the literary device so that you can have no problem in future. Actually, consonance means the use of same consonant sounds in the sentence, whether it is at the start of the word or amid of the word or at the end of the word. Here you can see in line number 4, with T sound, those T sound, So T sound here you can see is repeating. This is called assonance. It has been repeated in the line, first of all at the mid of the word and thereafter at the beginning of the word. So this is called assonance. So again we have sum up the poem once again. In this poem the poet tells us now the world actually can be ended up by only two things. So the poet has described here how the world will end. He says there are two ways to end up the world, which are fire and ice. That means either the world will end in desire or the world will end in hatred. This is why the title of the poem here you can see the title of the poem is Fire and Ice. Fire and ice. And then he tells us what is the opinion of people and what is his opinion about this. I hope you have understand the whole poem. So with this we have come to an end of the poem. I hope you all have understood the poem and different literary devices used in the poem. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was helpful to you. If you have any suggestion, please do write in comment box. And for more videos, please subscribe my YouTube channel Chandan English Guru and hit the bell icon. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.